it's to you. As we said before, Dr. Mariam is lecturer and researcher at the University of Lagos, where she bagged her PhD in botany. She is resourceful and hardworking, dedicated botanist and consultant with a good academic background. She possesses good communication skills and can prepare comprehensive documentation and reports as required. She's experienced in designing and promoting research in diverse areas of biological science, such as tissue culture techniques, hydroponic, aquaponic, plant physiology, medical stress physiology, and botany. Dr. Mariam, it's up to you now. So you can start your presentation and give you more from your experience in hydroponic. Dr. Mariam?
Thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to be here in a week, share my experience, hydroponics, and then say something on the benefits and the opportunities in hydroponic farming. So a number of the speakers have shared what hydroponics is, their experiences, the various types, and the opportunities we have with having a hydroponic system of farming. I'm going to talk about the benefits, and the benefits are a whole lot. Hydroponics farming is a type of farming system that involves the use of water-based nutrients to cultivate all types of crops. Your crops can be leafy vegetables. It can be a fruit-forming vegetable, fruit-producing vegetable. Any type of vegetable, any type of product or farm produce you want to farm, hydroponics system gives that opportunity for such farming. Hydroponics farming is an environment control type of agriculture, such that you can control what you feed to your farm. The environment is controlled because it's an indoor farming system. It is described as weather climate-proof farming because you have the opportunity, you have the advantage of controlling the system, the environment in which your plant grows. You also have the advantage of controlling the nutrients that is fed to the plant. You have the opportunity, the advantage of controlling whatever happens to the farm, unlike the farming system that is done in soil, in which the farmer is at the mercy of the environment in which the plant is exposed to. Hydroponics farming is the new farming technology for the future. If we look at what is happening in the environment, basically, my other speakers have talked about the challenges we face in our world today in respect of food security. So if we look at what is happening, hydroponics is the new farming technology for the future, because with hydroponics farming, you can control the environment, you can farm all season. So I go straight into some of the benefits of hydroponics farming. Hydroponics farming is an indoor establishment. Like I said, it gives you the opportunity to control it gives you the opportunity to control your farming environment. You're able to control the temperature. It's easier to control the climate. It's easier to control whatever happens in your farm, unlike what is obtainable in arable farming, where the plant is left at the mercy of what the nutrients available in the soil, or at what case the farmer provides fertilizer to the plants, which we have discovered is sometimes not too healthy, or some of the side effects from fertilizer application. We can see that the environment is controlled, so you have the opportunity to control what your plant is exposed to. Also, hydroponics farming system needs no soil. With farming system that is done in soil, we discovered that there is a situation where, because of the situation of the land, there is erosion. With hydroponics farming, there is no case of erosion. Your plants, your farm produce, they are exposed to the best farming environment. They have water needed. They have the nutrients in the right quantity, in the right quality for their growth. And with such farming system, you can't go wrong if properly managed. Another advantage of hydroponics farming is you have improved growth and yield. From my slide, you can see the tomato here. You can see the way it is producing, the produce from the tomato. You are sure to have a good produce when everything needed, everything required for the farming system is provided. You can also see the lettuce growing. You can't always go wrong. You are not left to the whims and caprices of the environment. When you grow your produce using hydroponic system, you can almost always get your desired your desired produce when hydroponic system is used. So with hydroponic system, we produce higher yield, it grows faster, and there's also healthier produce. With hydroponic system, there's less use of chemical. Because we don't get to use land, there's less incidence, there's less case of weed incidence in hydroponics farming. Because it's not land-based, we don't always experience weed in hydroponics system. So because there's even no case of weed infestation, there's no need for the use of herbicides, which could cause negative impact on the, which could also, the chemicals in the herbicide can leak into the plant and then invariably into the systems of organisms or humans consuming these produce. So there's less case of weed infestation. Also, another advantage of hydroponic system is that it conserves water. There's a situation where there's a recirculation of water. So the water moves through the system, supplying nutrients to all the crops cultivated. So you have water conservation, less water usage compared to arable farming or farming on the land. It has been established that hydroponics farming saves 80% of water compared to arable farming. So hydroponic system ensures effective recirculation of water, hence there is conservation of water. Also with hydroponics farming, there's an extended growing season. Recently, we experienced in Nigeria, when tomato was not in season, when we didn't have a lot of it, when it was going out of season, we experienced the high price of tomato. With hydroponics farming, you can farm any type of crop, whether they are in season or out of season. So seasonal changes is not something that is experienced with hydroponics farming. You can cultivate any kind of crop, whether they are in season or out of season, and you are sure that you have good harvest when you use hydroponics farming, because you are supplying the nutrient needed by the plants, whether the environment is right or not. You are also having a controlled kind of farming system because you are in an indoor, you are using an indoor kind of structure to cultivate this crop. So plants are not, whatever crop you want to experiment with, whatever crop farming you want to go into, you are not subjected to seasonal changes or seasonality in hydroponics farming. Another advantage is also the fact that there is high plant density with hydroponics system. Hydroponics farming is such that all the plants you are using are exposed to nutrients at the same time. There's no situation of nutrient leaching like you have in farming on land. There's no situation where the plants are not having enough nutrient supply. You can look at this slide and see the first slide here. This is an hydroponic system. You can see that the plants grown up densely packed. They are close to each other and they're all doing well compared to the land. The spacing issue we experience in cultivating in land, we don't experience that with farming using hydroponic system. You can pack your crops closely together and they will do well because they have good supply of nutrients needed for So there is no problem of spacing. Spacing guidelines needed by soil farming is not experienced in hydroponics farming. So with little space, you can actually have a whole lot of crops germinating, producing for you. Also, hydroponics farming saves space. Imagine this land space used on this farm for growing this lettuce. If it was an hydroponic situation, we can actually also have a vertical system where you have a layer of hydroponics plant, another layer over it, another layer over it, until you get to the roof, provided adequate amount of lighting is provided to the plant. You can actually utilize a little amount of space to produce a lot of crop. So hydroponics system is such that it saves space. With little space of hydroponics farming, you are sure to get a large amount of crop. Hydroponic system also is such that it ensures nutrient control. Nutrient control in hydroponic system is such that you produce the required nutrients to your plants. Before going into hydroponics farming, you as a farmer, you are sure of the kind of crop you want to cultivate. You are sure of the nutrient needs of that crop. And as a rule of thumb, you provide what that crop needs. So you are just going for the target nutrient for the crop. So it ensures nutrient control for whatever crop you intend going into, whatever crop you are farming. Also, hydroponic system gives a lot of other opportunities, such as there's the entrepreneurship opportunities. If you have the fund, it is something to go into, because at the end of the day, you are sure of getting whatever it is you have gotten into the system in terms of finance. It is the next agricultural thing to happen in urban systems, in urban areas. We know in a place like Lagos, we don't have enough land for farming. Most of the land we have has been used for urbanization, building of these, housing and all that. But with hydroponics farming, a little space can be used to get a huge amount of crop, a huge amount of produce. So with whatever little space one can acquire, one is exposed to, or one has in their available, one can actually produce a huge amount of crop. So it is the future for urban farming. Hydroponic system of farming is what urban centers should gear up, should embrace, so as to solve the problem with food security. Hydroponic system gives us the opportunity for specialty crop production. In some of the slides I shared, you could see some people just went into tomato production. So whichever crop you want to go into, you are sure to get a market for it. It will also enable you to master the crop. And then at the end of the day, you are getting good supply and recording success in your farming of whatever crop you decide to grow into. So it affords the opportunity for specialty crop production. So it also gives the opportunity for education adventure. But with hydroponics system of farming, people could be given the educational literacy they need to venture into it. So if you want to go into the educational aspect, you can get into it, train people, and then get people who have the finance to go into it. And then you can also be a consultant. So it gives an opportunity in the education aspect and the education venture. One can also specialize in making, while consulting, you give structures, consult in the area of making the structure, the technological development in the area of hydroponics. That's another opportunity. The technological development. Hydroponics involves a lot of technology, a lot of techniques. So another opportunity is venturing into the technological development aspect. You could go into the equipment, the structure. These are a number of areas that opportunity exists in hydroponics farming and in the hydroponics system. These are some of the areas that we can venture into, we can look into, and some of the benefits in hydroponics farming. These are some of the things I could research on, and I hope this has given some, has thrown some light, has thrown some education, some experience into hydroponics. With my little experience in hydroponics, I've been able to do tomato, I did lettuce, I did cucumber. I've also been able to do some vegetable like shoko. Some of these are some of the vegetables we have in around us. I was also able to marry it with aquaponics cultivation, which I was able to also use, cultivate some of these things I have mentioned. It is something to venture, it is something to look into, especially if we have the mind, which I believe we all have, of participating in solving the problem of food security that we're all experiencing presently. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.